Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Happy Monday. Hi, Chicky. Hi, Ray.
Hello.
Hey, Cynthia. Hey, girl. Hey.
We are here. It's been a week, but I'm so glad we're here. Hello to everybody in chat. Who have we got? Look, let me go back up here. We've got Pepper Jackie. Hello, Pepper Jackie. Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. And
Lunch, yeah.
how are you? I thought I saw Christina Bell there. Lady Blind Wolf. Hello, April. How are ya? Thank you for being here, guys. Oracles and Beyond. Hello, Cassie. Good to see you guys. Oh, Indigo Chrysalis Tarot. Hello.
Heather.
What a pretty name. Hello, Heather. Thank you for being here, everybody. Oh, well, you can try, Cassie. Give it a shot and come on up if you like. And oh, here's Joe. I thought Joe was going to dinner. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. What do you know?
I thought you were going to dinner.
I will be, but I'm like, I got a little bit of time, so I'm like,
oh, that's good.
So,
Where are you going?
dinner. What the? I can't remember the name of the
Wendy's.
place. I can't. What is it called? Geez.
There's a new place called McDonald's.
Someplace with food. Someplace with food.
Reinhardt's.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's a bar / pub kind of place.
Pub food. That's the best. That's awesome. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for joining us for just a little bit anyway. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Hello, Eli. Hey, how are you? Thanks for coming. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Yeah, we actually have a topic tonight. I actually wasn't lazy, even though this was a heck of a week. Oh. Well, a new week has started, so hopefully better things ahead, right? We had a little bit of a rough week. We lost a couple of friends and stuff.
I seen the video that you did.
Oh my God.
He was a YouTuber.
Yes, he was actually. He was a paranormal YouTuber, and I've known him for a number of years. And taken too soon, Murad was. And that was my feeble attempt at singing an old Scottish ditty.
Beautiful. It was beautifully, hauntingly beautiful. I loved it.
It's a beautiful, and it just played in my head all day, the day I found out, all day. And I was like, all right, I just got to get this out of my head, you know. But it is a beautiful song, and it just my little bit of remembrance for him.
Maybe it's the same person. I'm not sure, but there was another one who was actually murdered.
No, this wasn't him. He wasn't. Yeah, that one I haven't heard about. Oh, I don't think I could handle to hear about anymore, because we also lost another friend that we just found out. We didn't know. And so glad that a new week is starting. Hello, Yvonne. Hello. Good to see you, Spirit Stalker. Thanks, Pepper Jackie. I mean, there's a lot of people that are missing him very much. So yeah, touch me and I didn't. Oh, thank you. It's very sweet of you. Sometimes I like to think I can kind of sing a little bit. But you know what? Your emotions are there. It's just kind of, I did the best I could. I hope you guys like it. Thank you.
We're all rock stars in the car or in the shower.
Absolutely, man. When I'm alone in the car, you know, it's like, the worst part is in the summer when you realize you're like really going at it. And then you realize your window's open and everybody along the street is like,
what the hell's wrong with this person? Yeah.
I've heard her sing in a restaurant before, so don't let her fool you. She's good.
Cassie's trying to get on. She's having some. Oh, Elaine, thank you so much. I got a new channel member. Yay. Thank you so much. I promise I'm going to be doing more with members very soon. Welcome, Elaine. Elena, thank you so much. She's one of my biggest supporters forever and ever and ever. Thank you so much for joining. That's awesome.
I don't care what you did.
Hello. Ray's talking to his wife. Hello, Joe G. How are you? Hey, Wes. Marquee Paranormal. How are you, Wes? It's been a while. It is good.
Wow, Wes.
It is good to see you. It is good to see you. Thank you for coming. Oh, well, thank you for coming in, and it's really good to see you. Good to see you. That's awesome. That's awesome. And Cassie, I don't know, are you here?
I'm here.
Yay! Cassie made it. That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, I'm new here. Where from in New York? Oh, you're in Niagara Falls. I am right outside of New York City. So we are probably, what does that make us? 6 or 7 hours apart? But welcome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So, yeah. So I don't even know what I was talking about, but anyway. Oh, hi, Dad. Love you.
Hi,
Everybody
Ray.
say hi to my dad.
Hi,
Dad.
Uncle Ray.
Hello.
Yes, his name is Ray. And he watches.
Isn't that
And he
weird?
critiques me. He critiques
Well, it's
me.
not weird.
He critiques me. So he'll call me. Elaine, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Elaine, thank you so much. What a doll she is. Elena. Her name is Elena. We all call her
She goes by
Elaine.
both. I've
I
asked
know,
her
I
before.
know, but her
I don't
actual name is
know.
Elena. So we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right.
Well,
I think what I was saying was, even after this week, and also my son and his girlfriend got in a car accident yesterday. They're okay.
Oh.
They're okay. She's 7 months pregnant. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
do I need anything more to worry about? No.
Right.
But they're okay. So thank God. So I wasn't lazy this week. I actually came up with a topic because it's been a while. I've been so lazy. But this topic tonight is very interesting. And that's why I invited y'all, and I invite a couple other people too, because I want to get everybody's opinions, because it's not always ghosts, right?
I always say that.
That's what we say. But what do we get accused of? We get accused of, oh, you think everything's a ghost.
Right.
You think every little thing is a ghost. So I looked up stuff that people have actually done. There's so many articles out there trying to tell you it's not a ghost. It's really this. But some of these things really make sense. And we know them. We're not dumb.
Right.
We're not dumb. We're just stuck with, these abilities.
And the other thing is that I'm also one of those people. There are others too. Matt's the same way. Justin's the same way. But there's a few of us that are like, there's a possibility that it is not ghosts, that it may be something that we perceive as supernatural, but there may be something going on within the environment that is actually natural that we don't know of.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we know that because, and we're gonna talk about each of these things because
I got a list.
You got a list? Well, I got a bigger list.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, these are. Oh, Tommy's here, but his cam won't work. Well, hi, Tommy.
And they say us men are competitive.
Hey, George.
Well, it's my own experiences of what I've experienced, what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 11 different things it could be or more.
And Joe G is referencing exactly what we were talking about and where I got my title today. When you assume. But I know what that came from, because what did I tell you before? I remember it was an episode of The Odd Couple, original air date. And I remember watching it because it was Fall on the Floor funny when Felix Unger said that. And Elena says, hello to everybody. That's so great. I can see the little emojis now on StreamYard. That's actually cool. So yeah. So when we go through these different things, some of them are going to sound silly, but us as paranormal investigators, people think we don't realize this. I think a lot of times people on the outside think we're dumb. They think, or we're just play acting, which granted, there is an entertainment element to a lot of the people in the paranormal that you might come across. But I guarantee you those people know these things too. They're just better actors than you and I, probably better singers for sure. Anyway, Let me just check down here. Okay, I'm not missing anybody in the back room. So,
who's on screen beside Cassie? I totally didn't see that.
well, we have Tommy, Joker's
Tommy.
Nation. On my screen, he's below me, and he's got a little boy with his finger in the air.
Yeah.
That's me, actually. That's me in 1973.
Hey, Tommy.
Oh, that is so cute.
How you
But his
doing?
camera's not working. And then
Yeah,
below,
I can't get my camera to work. I don't know why. It keeps telling me that it's not allowed on my browser.
are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my laptop, and
Oh.
I just installed Windows 11, so I think it might be something.
Bless your heart. No way I'm pressing that button. No.
Actually,
I
it is
haven't had any
awesome.
issues.
It
Yeah, I
is
have.
awesome.
I'm the biggest complaint that I see are from PC gamers. The only issue that I have with it, and it's still happening,
Uh-huh.
and I guess I just have to deal with it, is just from my music software. I have to click something else and then click back on that, and then everything works fine.
Okay.
But
Well,
no issues here. Other than that,
I'm not doing it because I'm buying a new computer in the next couple of months, and it's going to come with. I'm just going to let it come with the Windows 11 and start fresh, and I'm just going to let this one stay Windows 10, even though it keeps saying to me, "Upgrade." I'm like, no. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
It's
Not
honestly, it's very easy to upgrade, and all your icons are still in the same place.
Uh-huh.
It's non-destructive and it's quick.
The first message I saw was, here's
Famous
your
last
Windows
words.
10, here's Windows 11. Once you upgrade, some of the things you have on your computer might not work. I was like, nope.
Nope. Actually, everything
Drivers.
I had worked.
you'll have to update drivers for certain things on your computer, but that's normal anyways.
Do you all listen to Dead Air Full Spectrum on KGRADB on Sunday? They are paranormal. Where would that, is that a radio station or is that online somewhere? I don't know what that is, but I'd be interested to know.
I don't listen to or really watch much paranormal stuff, to be honest.
I know we're always so busy doing our own. Do I like Mac? I was on a Mac for 12 years. I've only recently gone back to PC. Elaine, thank you so much. Elaine is such a sweetheart. It's on YouTube on Sundays. I have to look for it. My first EVP was this channel. Last time she did the ghost box, I swear my brother-in-law was. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm glad you heard that. So anyway, let's start with my list because this is really kind of fun. I like this stuff. And the very first thing I have is like the most obvious. Who do we lose? Tommy. Electromagnetic frequency issues. Duh. EMPs from appliances, wall sockets, extension cords, fuse boxes can cause you to feel like you're being watched or a creepy feeling on your skin.
Not only that, but it's natural as well. The earth it's always fluctuating.
Mm-hmm.
They have discovered that in places like the Antarctica, it's much the gravitational pull and stuff like that is much stronger there
Really?
than any other place in the world, and it constantly fluctuates.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it Antarctica where planes don't fly? And I know it's not for that reason, but planes do not fly over the South Pole. They do not fly over. They'll only fly over the North Pole. I can't remember the reason though, or the reason they give us.
I don't know if that is true or not, but
yeah, it is.
A lot of pilots will say, yeah, sometimes our equipment, kind of goes crazy in certain spots, but
really interesting. But yeah,
it's a known thing.
But we know about it. I mean, when they say EMPs from like we know that if you go into a location and even if there's no power, even if you know there's no power, you're going to take whatever kind of EMF machine, I can't think of the word, EMF indicator or whatever, and you're going to check around to see if there's anything possibly on.
even electrical wires can, if a place has no power, electrical wires can be magnetized.
Mm-hmm.
So they act as a magnet, and you can pick up readings from like things like that. I cannot think right now. Oh my Lord.
Why? I know. Welcome to my world. Wires that don't have power going through them
can be magnetized. Yeah.
just because of what they're made of.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Because the electricity that once went through them.
That's crazy. So we know that, but it's interesting because it says, and I don't have the sources where these articles came from, but the fact that they're saying it'll make you, I get a feeling on your skin because electricity, we're very good conductors of electricity. Us meat popsicles, we're very good conductors of electricity.
Right. And if somebody doesn't believe that, stick your finger in a light socket.
Oh, please don't do that. Don't ever do that. Just believe us. Just believe us.
Yeah, and everybody's a walking EMF detector. You just got to tune in.
Right.
And not dismiss.
Your hair, right? Your hair.
Yeah. You get the ear twitching.
Where I used to live, there was the home shopping network facility. It's a 3 million square foot facility. And every time we come in and out of that place, we have to go through metal detectors. And certain times, not everyone, but some people, everybody does eventually. But when we walk through there, it'll detect like metal or something on us. And that's because we have like those types of minerals and stuff like that in our body, and they can go up,
right?
They can raise, and you walk through there and it goes off. It's not because somebody stole something. I mean, sure that's probably has happened where somebody's trying to steal something, but it's going up because it's detecting your body.
Right. Well, I mean, can you imagine if you're like on magnesium overload or something? Hello, Simon Wales. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks.
I can't go into Best Buy stores like that because all the stuff goes wonky. The poly effect, it just goes weird.
Really?
So, yeah. And especially when they don't anymore, but years ago when they used to have the detectors at the door of your local Walmart and stuff. And I would just walk in and they would start beeping. And I get so mad because I get angry when there's loud noises. And I just turn around and walk out. I'm like, I can't even shop here.
Oh my God. That's awful. Hello, Wolf Haunts Paranormal. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Awesome. Yep. So there's that. But I mean, we're aware of it, but I have a feeling like what you were just saying about wires that have no power going through them. I would have thought if the electricity is turned off, nothing, but I would have thought.
Yeah, it's natural anyways. It could just be coming from the environment, and EMF does travel. So just because you get a hit doesn't mean it's within the immediate area. It could have come from a distance.
Oh my
and it
God.
just traveled. For a long time, and this can be researched. For a long time, airplanes, even though they're like miles up, they were getting interference from cable companies. Like Days of Our Lives were being pumped through their system, and they could hear Days of Our Lives or whatever it was
over their radios. Like it wasn't coming bouncing off the satellites. Maybe
it was coming. Yeah. So.
Oh my God, Days of Our Lives.
And
that's not good.
And
of course. Why? Yeah. Because Roy's been shot.
Right. So, and this was something I didn't know about this, and they had a cable guy come to our house, and he's like, "Hey, we need to check your wires and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Who the hell are you? Do you really work for the cable company?"
Then I gotta check your wires. I am the chicken inspector. We have a curious question here, and this is very interesting.
He was legit. And he checked. And I said, why are you checking that? He's like, because pilots don't appreciate hearing Days of Our Lives when they're flying overhead. Because
did you not see the Cessna that landed in your backyard, sir? This Joe G says, somewhat related. Some people cannot wear watches. They stop working.
Me too.
Some make the hands go backwards. I have never heard that. That would like freak me out.
The poly effect.
If I had put a watch on and it started going backwards, I would be like,
girl,
I'd be looking around going, what year is it? Okay.
I did a live stream last night. It's still up. I was looking at the timer. You know how I always the divine numbers,
Right.
2, and I'm like, and I went to go count it at 1113, and it skipped ahead, and then it went backwards, and then it went forwards right on my live.
What timer was that?
I'll have to go back and find it. The live is still up.
Elaine, thank you.
But
You're so
timers,
great.
electricity, the Pauli effect. If you
The
look up
Pauli
Wolfgang
effect.
Pauli,
P-O-L-
Pauli.
the
Yeah,
Paul. Oh,
I have the Pauli
Pauly.
effect. A lot of people
Pauly. That would be Pauly here in New York. That
What?
would be Pauly.
do. I'm walking here, the Pauli effect.
I'm like Polly, P-O-L-L-Y, like Polly wants a cracker.
Sorry,
Pop the store.
Pauli.
Oh, you can't wear watches because of that? That is crazy. I've never heard such
Near
a
the end.
thing.
Thanks, Joe G.
Wow.
I can't
That-
wear hematite. It explodes.
What?
My energy,
Holy.
my frequency that my body operates on will explode.
Oh my.
I wear
Lord.
this tungsten carbide ring
Right.
because I used to always have a hematite ring and they would explode on my hand. I'd be sitting at the desk and it would just explode.
Holy mackerel.
Yep.
Hello, Edgy D. Hello. Hello, Shaw Woman. And hello, T-Rex
Dina.
Pam Smith.
Yeah,
Good
I've
to
talked
see
to
you
several
Everybody.
several people
Ah,
that are
here it is.
into the different like stones
Wow.
and gems, and they said that my frequency is too high to wear it.
Holy
I was
mackerel.
like, that's
The
cool.
Pauli effect or Pauli's device corollary is the supposed tendency of technical equipment to encounter critical failure in the presence of certain people. Wow. Now, see, I'm learning. Tangi is trapped in her box.
Okay.
Oh, I stop watches. My grandpa stopped watches too. Met a woman who made them go, oh my Lord. You know, I haven't worn a watch in well, the only thing I wear is my iWatch, and that's not a watch. You know, there's no hands on it, but dang, you guys are
How
special.
long does
My
your
grandmother
watch?
couldn't go into car washes or elevators because they always broke. It's like, where's
long-
your grandma? She's 2 hours late. Check the elevator. She's in the elevator again. Call the car wash.
How long does your Apple Watch stay charged?
Hey, Sarah.
Most of the day. I'd have to charge it every night.
Do you?
Yeah, I gotta charge it
I was
every
going to
night.
say that most people it's 2 days. Mine's every night.
Yeah, I got to charge mine every
Yeah.
night. But mine
that's
is the
power
very
time.
first watch. I pre-ordered it before the very first one ever came out. So maybe it's just old.
Now,
Yeah,
I've got the
yeah.
brand new,
Hello,
brand new
Sarah.
7. And
Moldavite does that.
one day, everyone
Yeah.
else I know it's 2 days, but they say that that's also because of the frequencies that we operate. And that's,
Wow.
yeah.
That's very interesting. Some people can't wear moldavite because it messes with their energy levels. It's a high vibration stone.
Now, some of those crystals and stones and stuff like that. I don't remember which ones it is, guys. Don't buy them. Don't wear them because they are very dangerous to your health.
Which ones?
I cannot.
Well, there's raw versions. Raw versions of some of them
Sounds good, Wolfon.
are toxic. Yeah.
to our
You want
body.
them
Yeah.
humbled.
I'd love to know what they are. Not that I
There's-
wear I wear the same stuff every single day. I'm very boring.
So there's malachite,
Yeah,
moldavite.
Those two. It can be very, very
If
harmful.
you get a small
Really?
temple one, you're okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
in raw form, like she said, in raw
Mhm.
form, they can actually,
Mhm.
because basically the toxins in them leach out. Once they've been tumbled and sealed,
Well, that's it. A lot of them
They're
are
safe.
sealed, you know. So
Polished
that's
ones are
good.
Yeah.
but the raw stones, yes, they do
Wow.
leach
Yes,
out toxins.
Sarah's right. She said
think,
Sarah does have 50 million crystals. She does.
Yeah, no kidding. I was going to say, I believe hematite's supposed to be one for, to keep good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then snowflake obsidian's supposed to be a protective.
I
And
love
those are the
snowflake
two that I
obsidian.
love.
I love snowflake obsidian. That's so cool. So that was very interesting. I learned a lot there. So number 2 on my list is actual living things. So Things that are mistaken for ghosts are actual living things like squirrels in your house. Okay.
Yes. Nice.
I mean, you can tell the people that wrote these articles weren't necessarily, on our side. Squirrels in your house. And I guess maybe if you're not used to this stuff or you're not well versed in the paranormal, you might hear,
raccoons. Remember the famous case, the lady that had raccoons living in her attic and she thought she was being haunted?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Raccoons, that would be bad to have. But squirrels are just as bad.
Squatters.
You don't get squatters.
I'd rather have a ghost than a squatter raccoon. Okay.
A lot of people with their animals are like, my animal's growling at something or staring at something. They may be hearing what we can't hear, and that's an animal or a critter or whatever in the walls.
Right. That's exactly right. Because around here, the field mice are they're like little puff balls. Like that. Like you'll see a mouse and it's literally a puff ball. It's round. It's just the littlest, cutest thing, but
it's not a tribble. It's a mouse.
It's not a tribble. But that was number 2. And I got these from a few different articles, but let's move on because the next one's interesting.
It's a critter on the couch.
The critter on the couch. This one is layout problems. Now I'll tell you what they're talking about. I had to laugh, but catching a draft or a strange reflection, like based on where you've put your furniture isn't placed correctly for psychological comfort. We're talking about feng shui.
Yeah.
We're talking.
And you put your coat on the hook wrong and it's dark and you think somebody's watchers on the wall. It's just your coat.
But what they're saying is like if you lay out your furniture and the sun hits in a certain way and people are you see these pictures all the time. What do you see in this picture? I see a couch. What do you see? I don't know. It's a couch. It's a love seat. I'm sorry. It's a love seat. They'll think that it's a ghost or something, and I think what this one is saying, just because where stuff is, maybe you're seeing stuff that's normal. You know what I mean? But you think it's a ghost. Hey, Loki!
Or the neighbor's kid pressed his face up against your window when you weren't home. 2 days later, you look out the window and you see on glass.
That's right. That's right. And that's only a problem if you live on the 30th floor.
Right? Right?
Loki.
Loki. Hey, Loki. You have a critter on your couch. You have cool critters, Sarah.
Oh.
Sarah's critters are
He was sitting on the couch staring at me and listening to everyone.
Loki.
Hey, don't be typing. Don't be typing.
Oh, yeah. The other day, Loki was with him and took a selfie while
and I ain't figured out how
Tommy was watching with his nose.
I was watching the live.
With his nose.
I was watching the live, and somehow he was watching it. And
it was a cute selfie, though. He sent it to me. It was very cute. Very
cute.
Loki
is the god of mischief. So
yes,
he is.
And he has a big nose.
Gonna get it.
Yeah. The next one is, I don't know where they get this septic trouble. Knocking water pipes.
Yeah. Or house settling. Or when it's frozen outside and you hear.
My refrigerator, you'll hear it probably on here. You'll hear it. It'll go.
And it's not on the stairs.
It goes down. It goes. It sounds like somebody dropping marbles or bowling balls downstairs.
Yeah.
It does it only during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
But when it first started doing it, me and the wife freaked out because we're like, what the hell was that?
You're like, get the EMF detector.
Yeah, finally I found out what it was, and it was the refrigerator, the motor at the bottom, the rubber gets worn, and it allows it to bounce around, and it knocks.
Yeah, I mean, when they say knocking water pipes, again, a lot of the locations that paranormal investigators go into are abandoned.
So there is no water in the pipes.
There's no water. I think what these articles we're talking about is like your average person who lives in a regular house and they hear these sounds and they think they're being haunted.
Oh, you mean like the one, I won't name names.
Don't.
Respect. I won't name names.
Respect.
But you mean like the one where the person was walking through their house with the raw wood floor and scuffling, and then all the dust coming up going, oh, look at orbs everywhere. Orbs, orbs, orbs. And I'm going, that's not orbs, you mental midget. That's dust. Vacuum your floor.
And that's the other that cracks me up too, because they're like, I vacuum or I sweep. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's in the air. You're like, I don't care how clean your living space is. It's still
they did a whole 6-week series of this, how their house was haunted and orbs were everywhere. And we sat and watched it and laughed nonstop, uncontrollably, because every time they moved, the dust would come up and you could see it was dust.
Who is this?
I won't say names.
No, don't name name. He can tell you later.
Well, we do have a private chat. It can go in there.
There you go.
Oh, yes, I can put it in there.
Oh, wait, here's a good one here.
I hate that when people are like, so-and-so's a big meanie, but I won't name any names. But boy, I hate that guy.
Look at this. Reminding me of the ridiculous scream my cappuccino maker would make when I did not let the steam release. Thought I had a poltergeist.
Just like in the fields, when the foxes scream, they sound like women in distress, and they're not. It's animals.
Remember that cute song? What does the fox say? That's not what the fox said.
No, they scream.
No, the fox is blood curdling, awful.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing with the orb thing. It's like I don't like, no matter how many times I tell people this is what's going on, this is what's happening. Well, you're not there. Well, I didn't say the place isn't haunted. I'm simply explaining this is what's going on. If you're in the dark, you take a picture with your flash, and even if you see an orb with your own eyes, chances are the flash is going to wash out the light emanating from that orb, and it will likely look like a black dot.
A black dot. Yeah. I don't look for orbs. I don't search for orbs. I have caught orbs 2 times, only 2 times. One was the very first time I turned on my IR camera and I was like, honey, let's test this out, and I was just literally filming around my bedroom, and I was like, and when I look back at it, I was like, what the hell? And it was like it had a mind of its own. It was weird. And then the second time was when Ray and I were in Gettysburg a couple of years ago, and it's on my channel. In fact, it's the clip I put my second TikTok clip. I have 2 TikTok clips, and my second one shows that we were with a group of people during this extreme ghost hunt with this group that we paid to be there, and we were all sitting on the floor together, and the SB7 was in the middle of the floor with a speaker, and I was filming it with my IR camera, and you see an orb just kind of come up and go boom right into the radio. And you hear me go, it's very boring. It's like an orb just went into the radio. So I don't know how to make good TikToks yet.
Spoiler alert, it's not that extreme.
If you've seen Lawnmower Man, you get it.
But it's
all
on my
energy.
TikTok. It's only the first video is actually very funny. It's of our spouses trying to be a paranormal team, but it's my second TikTok video. So
Yeah,
I'm very proud.
it's funny.
So
Now
that's it.
That orb I caught in the underground dealership, that was pretty tricky because it went across the water and actually had its own light source as it went across the water reflecting.
Yeah, so you guys were doing urbex. You weren't even
I wasn't even looking for it. And that was when I caught the like 15 orbs doing the tornado in front of me.
Oh, that's right.
Remember the camera lens kept going in and out, and I was like, what is causing that?
I do.
And then when I watched it slow, there's like 15 orbs in a tornado spinning in front of me, and they were causing the camera to catch different distances. It freaked me out because I recorded hundreds of videos out doing urbex and never once had my camera lens go in and out of focus. And it kept doing it in this basement. And I'm like, what is going on?
Is that still on your channel, that video?
Yeah, it's still on my channel.
So it's Joker's Nation, you guys. If I were better at this, I would put up links for everybody's channel. I meant to put them in the description.
Let me see if I can bring it up.
Joe. I don't know who's where, but to me, Joe is down in this corner, down there. That's Truth Paranormal, Joe Vitale. Next to me is Roman Biscotti. Next to her is Nobody Believes Me Paranormal Ray. And below is Joker's Nation Tommy. And that video is on
I'm actually just gonna. I think what I'm gonna do is share the
Put your
whole
channel
playlist.
link, Ken.
We'll do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
put your
I
links
could do
in.
that.
I
Hey,
did.
Eddie and Jen, how are you guys? Hello. Hello, Arden. I missed your thingy again. Here we go. Arden, hello. Good to see you. And Steven. Hey, Steven. I sent you an email earlier. If you want to come up, I think I sent you the link.
But so far the list, not that it's against you or anything like that, but that list is kind of insulting to my intelligence. Probably all of our intelligence.
These are the articles that are out there about what is taken for a go. So let's move on. Okay, because the next one will insult you even more. Suggestion. Now, we all know this, right? There was a study that was done of people visiting a theater, and they had half of the people, they told them this old theater was under renovation. And then the other half of the people, they told them it was haunted. Then they had them fill out the study. And what do you think happened? The people that were told it was haunted had one kind of experience, and the people that were told it was under renovation had a totally different experience to share. So the power of suggestion is huge.
Right. I did this before to some people. We were in a haunted location, and I said, and I'm just like, I want to see if this works with these guys. I'm like, Shadow, did you guys see that? It just went one direction, and they're looking like, there it is again. After a while, like, oh my god, I see it. And then everybody started seeing this. So I'm thinking some of these people are probably lying, and other people think that they are seeing something, but they're really not.
Right.
But I did tell them, like, there was nothing down there. I just said that just to see.
Thank you, Elaine.
I just did that just to see if you guys would
absolutely. And it's also why a lot of is that coming from Sarah?
Sarah.
A lot of
she's getting loop back.
A lot of mediums or psychics, when they go into a location, the real good ones, the real ones will not get any information ahead of time.
Right.
In fact, the good investigators will do the same. They will not get any information ahead of time because they don't want that power. It's very strong. We can't help ourselves.
Power of suggestion is crazy. Just like, do you remember when I did that nursing home and we had the EVPs on it? Anytime someone would say what they heard, if you listen to it, what they said they heard was different than what I heard, but now I hear what they said that they heard.
Right.
And that's the power of suggestion that, when somebody says that EVP said, hey, that's not yours. Mm-hmm. Then when they listen to it, they're going to hear, hey, that's not yours. But then when somebody says, no, it said this, and then you listen to it, now all of a sudden you hear, it's that whole, what is it, Yanni? What was that? Where the guy said Yanni or something, and people heard a different name.
Yeah.
Come
the
back,
two
Sarah.
words. Or the two colors.
Yeah, the two names you would hear, but it's.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, it was during that blue dress, gold dress time, and he said Yanni, and yet people heard Danny or something. I think it was. Sometimes
us as paranormal YouTubers who put up videos like we do and annotate them. So there are some people that think we shouldn't annotate them at all.
Yeah, I put it up and I say, you listen to it and you tell me what you think.
Right.
Well, what I like to do is, if I'm not sure, I'll replay it, put a question mark there. I'll let people decide for themselves. But if it's blatantly clear, that's a different story.
I've done
that. He's back.
I'm leaving. I gotta go lay down.
Oh, that's right. Ray. He had oral surgery today. I hope you feel better, Ray.
All right, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna watch.
Okay, hon. Feel better. Go rest.
All right, bye.
Lay down.
Gargle with some Jack Daniels. It'll make it feel better.
God, no. Not yet. But lay down, because if you lay down, you get the gravity on the because he's had the surgery. Gravity's hurting him, so he needs to lay down.
One of the other things too, when it comes to like our stuff that we put out there, is people say, "Oh, you missed something. I heard this," and it's like, yeah, that was from, whatever. I already know what that is. So I didn't bother, bother with it. No. And it's like, no, I was there. I know what that was. And they will continue to argue. And it's like, look, if I wanted to be paranormal, I would have just like, oh, this is paranormal, guys. Ooh, evidence, when it's really not. I'm like, that's not, no.
Right.
You're not there.
And there's times when you don't see or hear anything until after you watch it back.
Right.
Thank you, Elaine.
And there's that as well.
And the opposite. You hear it when you're there and you play it back and there's nothing. And you're like, dude, I know I heard that.
Well, I do annotations pretty minimally. And as like everybody else, when you put out a 10-minute video, there's often hours of footage that you don't use, that there's nothing there.
Right.
And I want to try to annotate only when, like the video I just put up the other day in the Stewart Cemetery. I asked
the faceplant video.
The what?
The faceplant video.
Yeah.
I could hear the invisibles laughing at you.
All I heard was like snow crunching, and I was like, that was her face.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness the camera went off when I hit the ground.
Thank goodness there wasn't.
Because nice things were not coming out of my mouth. I was not happy. It was snow and leaves and mud, and I just down. But in that video, I ask about, what their name is, and it is so clear when it comes through and it says Philip. So I annotate Philip. You can't miss it. It doesn't sound like fill up, like fill up your car. It sounds like Philip. But I will often say, I haven't annotated everything. If you hear anything, let me know. I always used to say that, and nobody does anymore, so I don't bother saying it. Figure people will tell me, and there are some people that do put in timestamps, which is great. But I'm just very minimal with my annotations.
I like this question by Joe G. Is analog better than digital? It really depends. It really depends on somebody's preference. A lot of people will say they like analog better because they seem to get more EVPs from it. Whereas other people, it's like, it really doesn't matter.
Are you talking about like a manual scan?
Yeah. Analog, when you're doing you're talking like EVPs, I think is what she's talking about. Analog is great, but you've got to get past that white noise. So if you don't have a way to equalize out that hiss so that you could hear the white noise over the hiss of the analog tape, it becomes difficult. And I think that's why a lot of people went to digital, is because digital, it pretty much eliminates the hiss on digital. But with eliminating that hiss on digital, you actually could lose some of the actual voices because they are in that. So like on analog, I have an equalizer to where I could actually minimize the hiss, but amplify the mid, which brings that in. So it just takes that low out of there, but it still allows for voices to be captured that normally would fall right at the base of that frequency.
Right.
Sound.
We hear people talk about, I want, an expensive digital recorder because it's clean. There's no hissing. It's it has none of that, noise like the cheaper digital recorders. But then it's like, then you got to explain, well, the reason why some people do prefer a lower end digital recorder is because there is a white noise there. It's digital white noise. And that may be what they're using to, manipulate and use that to speak through. When you eliminate that, now you're getting less EVPs. So there's the side, and I can see both sides of the fence, so I lay in the middle with this. With expensive digital recorders, you're not going to get a lot of EVPs. I've hardly gotten any. I think maybe 2 EVPs with my digital recorder, my expensive one.
Yeah.
Whereas the cheap one, I seem to get more. So yes, I do prefer to have a more expensive, quieter recorder, but doing so, what am I losing? So
right. And I know the ones I use, they're here somewhere, but they're old. They're older ones.
I like both. If you take both, the micro cassette recorder, the old Radio Shack.
Oh, the micro cassettes. Recorder. Oh my gosh.
That one works great. And then I've got my Olympus digital, which is the high end one. But the funny thing is, when you listen to them back, you hear things on that analog you don't hear on that digital, and they were both on your vest,
right?
And at the same time. And there's a reason. There's a reason for that as well. Analog is just analog. It's not digital. It's not MP3. It's not wave. It's nothing. Okay. Whereas digital recorders, a lot of like the cheaper ones, they just do MP3, so it still works. It's still, the quality's still there. But the thing is MP3, and it's weird. I'll try to explain this as best as I can. This is something you guys can look up online as well. MP3 also dictates what is the sound and what is not. So if it doesn't hit a certain frequency, the chances are it's not going to be there. Whereas if you record in wave, which is a much bigger uncompressed file, it records everything. Every little sound.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's why that Olympus one I talked about, it's the one where the USB pops out the bottom of it. You just slide it and it pops out a USB port. That Olympus that I use, it actually allows you to do wave. And actually, I think there's a third format on there that's total raw audio.
Wow, that's good.
Well, too. I mean, wave is total like raw. It's uncompressed, but the pros to wave is you get much better sound. The cons of wave, you ain't getting you're getting bigger files, which is going to eat up more space.
That's why I got a 128 megabyte card in that one, because I know that it's going to eat up some space.
But some of them though also record their own internal sounds. They record their own internals, and that's like that DR60 that everybody tries to sell for $1,000. That's well known for recording its own internals. So you're getting stuff there that's not real.
I think the most expensive I've ever seen that recorder back in the day was like $30, but like you can find them anywhere between $15 and $30, and look at the price today. And so a few years back, me and a friend, and we were like, hey, let's go check out this estate sale, just let's just go check it out. And we're in there, and I'm like, I'm so focused. I'm like, because they have like old cameras there and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. These cameras, I mean, they were old. I'm like, oh wow, no joke. Right next to those cameras, and I overlooked it, was that stupid DR60. And a friend of mine, I just see him grab something like score, and I'm like, what? And he showed me. I'm like, oh
my gosh, you could have sold it.
He went over to buy it, and he's like, does this thing still work? They're like, we're not really sure. Well, he's like, instead of giving you like, what was it? They were asking $5. Instead of $5, they sold it to him for $3. I'm like, and it worked.
Wow.
Good for him. Eddie says, when we go live, we always want the audience to participate, because sometimes what we hear, someone else may hear different. And that is true. That is true. Everybody might hear something. And also, like when you're live, you're so keyed in, you miss stuff. And that's why we listen back. George loves his radios. George, of course he does, because he won one from us a number of years ago when we were, I think we did a giveaway when we were in Gettysburg. And Cassie's got one too. That's right.
The other thing, headphones. When you're listening, all headphones are not the same. I could have these headphones on, and I may not hear any EVPs, but somebody else, they put on a different kind of headphones. They're hearing things, and then they give me their headphones. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to deal with when it comes to looking for EVPs. I always have somebody upset with me. You didn't hear that? You didn't hear? Like, no, I can't hear it.
When I'm looking at my footage, when I'm going over my footage, sometimes I like to I thought I could use my AirPods. You cannot use your AirPods when you're going over footage. You won't hear anything. And I think they're cutting out certain frequencies or levels. Or,
they do.
Yeah.
They
it's
do.
like they have their
They're
own
noise
pass.
canceling. Yeah, AirPods are noise canceling, so
They
they're
don't
going to
work
cut
at
out
all for this. You've got to.
Right.
Now, these are terrible for EVPs.
This is what I use.
You definitely want headphones, like these anyways, but a good
I look
set.
like a spaceman, but this is what I use.
If you're looking for a recommendation, I've got Beats and I could hear certain things on them, the wired Beats, but that microphone, the Samsung microphone that we have, I bought the headphones from Samsung as well. They're like $30. They are incredible, and I mean, you could hear a moth fart on those. I mean,
really. Well, I have the Corsair headset here, and I like it a lot. So
yeah, those are good. But for somebody looking for budget,
what?
If somebody's looking for budget,
right,
go for those Samsung. They're the full headset. They pick up everything.
I didn't know they made a headset.
If you guys, these have been, I don't even know if they still make them or not, but if anybody can find them, KOSS headphones, KOSS.
Yep,
they're
Big
cheap.
Box.
That's the brand of my amp. I believe my amp is a KOSS amp.
You can get them at Big Lots.
Katana, it's a KOSS Katana.
Those headphones, like this is back in 2003. Oh my god, they were so dynamic sounding,
really,
so rich. Yeah, I used to use those.
To think about. I learned a little radio as it switched from analog to digital. Analog has a broader spectrum. I noticed a difference. The only time I watched here, more voices on analog. So now my radios that I use are all digital, right? What are we talking? Why am I what am I missing here?
Digital.
You got double blocked. I blocked them.
Okay, we tag teamed them, Tommy.
So what are we talking about?
So basically, you have digital
radios,
right? Analog, you literally have to go and like switch through to get to the stations.
Oh, just manual tuning, in other words. Manual tuning. Okay. I like this one. I used an old box cassette recorder. You know what? I was recently at somewhere where they were selling one of those old cassette recorders where you open the top and put it in. And I was like, I should buy this and do a session with it, man. And now I kind of wish I had.
Now, on the downside with tape, though, is you record with it, and then you go back, like let's say you got what you needed out of it, and then you go back and record over what you did previously.
Stuff comes through, right?
You may hear what the previous recording,
Right. Eddie likes to experiment with different spirit box devices, SB7, Necrophonic, or the Phasma box. Yeah, you guys were using, I was watching you, Eddie, the other day, and you guys were using the one that's on the computer that you can't get on the phone. Phasma box, that must be it. Have you ever used that, Joe? Phasma?
I have not. So
I haven't either.
I'm not sure when, but we're gonna have somebody on my channel talk about those apps, and they're literally going to show, like, tear them apart, show the command codes, all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna see that they're not. Yeah, shouldn't use them.
Well, his channel's Truth Paranormal Joe Vitale. And
I use them on my channel.
Code can be manipulated.
Now I can I use I'll do it on my channel. I'll use them on my channel, but I'm like, straight up, take this stuff with a grain of salt. Basically, what I'm saying is this is entertainment. Like, that's all this is.
For entertainment purposes only.
Now,
everything is.
Now the
Gypsy.
other.
Oh, Gypsy, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Back to what you were talking about with the tapes of how to do that.
Yeah.
Where he was saying that you could hear like prior recordings.
Yes.
I can give everyone a little trick. If you've got an old pair of headphones that no longer work, cut the cord off it, plug it into the microphone jack, and hit record after you've reviewed and backed up or whatever. That way, when you record, you're recording just strictly nothing. With the microphone or the headphone jack and the microphone port, it actually makes the microphone no longer useful because it thinks it has an external microphone, so it's going to record nothing, and
So it blanks out the tape, basically.
It basically renews that tape to factory new.
The other thing,
way you don't get cross contamination like he was talking about.
Gotcha.
The other thing too is with tape. You know, look, if you can look at the tape, the darker the cassette tape, the tape itself,
the oxidation is.
Yeah, you don't want to go with the darker film tape. You want to go with the lighter color, the brown. They record better, and they don't do that whole thing. Basically, it would be called like ghosting, where if you record over it, you can still hear the previous stuff. Yeah, they don't. They tend not to do that as often.
I guess the most honest way to do it then would be to get the cassette recorder. If you can get cassettes, use them once, and that's it.
And that's what they recommend. Now,
and that's it.
Then they had that theory where, oh, hey, I wonder if I can put a cassette tape down somewhere at a haunted location. I wonder if I could get an EVP. It is not going to happen. It will not happen.
It takes a lot of magnetic power to actually move that oxidation around.
Oh, you mean put the tape without the tape recorder?
Yeah,
right.
It
will.
Wasn't there a famous group of people that did some sort of session, and then when they looked at something had been inscribed on it? Was it a film?
Yes.
Film.
And then there was a lady who could project images onto the photographs, and then there was this
long time ago. It was a very well-known
team that took all the pictures, and when they see scratches on them and words and stuff.
Yeah, long time ago. Very well-known session. I wish I could think of it, but I can't.
There was Factor Fake Paranormal Files who went to that woman's house, and they were using Polaroid, and they were getting the weird stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Wasn't it the Costellos? Deb, the one that her husband killed her?
No.
No, this is older than that.
No, I was going to say they tried that like he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
They left the tape at a spot that was heavy EVPs. And they left the tape there, and then they had a recorder going, and they never got anything on it. But I know they did a experiment, and they also investigated somebody that was faking EVPs. And they busted them.
Eddie wants to know what our go-to devices are for Spirit Box.
I'll be back in a few.
Okay, hon.
Gotta go pee.
Okay, dear. You go ahead. Eddie wants to know what our go-to devices are. I don't. My favorite. I mean, the easiest one is the 587 because it's portable. Like if I'm going somewhere with my husband for the weekend, I just throw one in my bag.
The best piece of equipment is the one that you have with you, it's probably going to be your cell phone. If you don't plan on doing any investigations, you're just going somewhere and things are happening. You're whatever you have on you.
I know it's going to sound like a smart ass answer. Your eyes and ears.
Right.
I've caught more by vision and hearing.
Haunted trucking. Hello.
And it always happens when I just turn my equipment off. That's when I hear and see stuff.
So,
like the nursing home.
For me, digital recorder and a camera almost of any kind. If it's not planned, then a camera of any kind, whether it be my phone or whatever.
Because the phone mic is very powerful. So is your camera. My Nikon camera. I used to just set it up, and I've caught stuff on it that's crazy. And it's just the mic in the camera.
The iPhone 13 Pro.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I got the Max.
See, I didn't want the Max. I wanted regular size.
It's great. It's great. The cameras are really good.
I love how the microphone zooms with the zoom on the camera. So a lot of times when I go somewhere and I'm using my phone, I'll zoom in a little bit so that my microphone zooms in and actually gets more.
Haunted Trucking says you should bring a DVR with you. A DVR system? Is that what you're talking about? I've seen that's a lot.
I have a DVR system, an 8-channel DVR system, and it sees in color at night. That is I'm gonna swear that is a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the ass to set up.
Isn't that a lot to set up a DVR system when you're at a
no matter
at a location? Hey, Amber.
No matter how fast you are, it takes a long time to set up. I mean, it's if you have a team,
Hey, Randy.
then no problem. When it's by yourself, and that's what I usually end up doing. Yeah, it is. It takes me like an hour.
But what DVR system are we talking about? Like multiple cameras, and then you're watching it all on the.
It's basically
that's awesome.
The hard drive backup, basically.
Yeah, basically, I'm setting up security cameras, and all of that's being recorded. They're great to have because you could be somewhere and something could happen. You may never know it at all if you don't have one, but if you go back and you
look at everything,
and most of the time, nothing.
Amber doesn't like the SB7.
SB7, honestly, to me, is a entertainment purpose only spirit box. I bought one. I even put it in a Faraday bag just to rule out any radio, and I caught nothing with this thing. Right. I caught stuff on my phone, but nothing from the SB7. So I'm an anti-SB7 person.
So
he meant digital voice recorder, not a DVR. Well, I'm thinking of a DVR system with the multiple cameras.
So I've never heard anybody referring
a digital voice recorder. Yeah.
So I will use the SB7. It is annoying. I will use it because I do believe that you can get communication through there, but I don't think it's quite as often as people like to make it out to be. I think it's more of a rare thing, and I'm always looking. Yeah. I'm looking for direct responses, and they have to be clear. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts about those damn things, because when I'm running it, people tend to be like, "Oh my God, I heard this, I heard that," da 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 da. And sometimes I get into an argument with certain people about it. It's like, "Oh my God."
Once again, I'm not going to name the person, but I've had to correct a person using an SB7, and they were using it at a campground and kept saying that they were hearing stuff. And I watched his video and I called the person and I said, "Listen,
you called them.
You're catching CB transmissions from the highway. You're literally 100 yards from the highway."
Oh my goodness.
I just heard the trucker say,
breaker.
Mile marker number.
Breaker.
Yes, and bear reports. And I said, dude, you're not picking up voices. They're not asking you where you're at. They're asking where the cop was at, because the trucker had just said a bear report.
Funny. That is funny.
And that's one of the reasons why, it kind of irritates me with them, is because they are so easily manipulated. Wow. I've got a friend that's got a ham radio in his car. He can pull up to a store that has no radio playing but has speakers, and he could talk through their speakers in the store by keying up his microphone on his ham radio.
Yeah.
Clean up on all three.
No, it was clean up my drawers, because it was 3 in the morning, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing over there?"
Oh, no.
I was the only person in the store.
Oh, no.
Now, also, I made a video on this where I showed that, hey, there's bleed through that comes through these radio stations, and just throwing a number out there with stations, let's say you're on 88.1, okay? Well, it's got to go through 88.2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9. Then it's got to switch over, to 88.2, and then go through all that.
Right.
Yeah, it's scanning less than a second through the station, kind of, but it's still stuck for like a second.
Yeah, it definitely bleeds. Yeah,
and even so, if you get close to a station, it'll start coming in a little bit, then it'll get stronger as you get close to that station, and then
3 decimals. 3 decimals is all the FCC allows them to bleed over. So if you're on 88.1. By 88.4, you should not hear that station. So that's why I tell people, when you're getting responses on those spirit boxes, if you're hearing it over 5-6 sweeps or 5-6 decimal points, then yes, you are hearing something, especially if it's the same voice. But if you're getting the tail end of one from 3 decimal points before, and then the entrance of the 3 decimal points next, you gotta decipher between those voices. So you're right about that with the bleed over, the leaching. But FCC regulations for any radio station is they can't bleed over more than 3 decimal points past their station, and that's either way.
And a lot of people who believe that they're getting like sentences or a couple of words, they're really not. They're getting something from the radio station,
right? And that's why I like. A lot of people are like, well, FM, you get more responses. No, FM's more populated. I like scanning on AM myself,
right?
Because it seems like AM you get more clear over multiple stations.
Also, when you're scanning through all those stations that are just dead air, nothing, just white noise, those are a lot quieter than the station that's actually coming through. So then people are like, oh, wow, that was a really loud, clear response. Yeah, because it landed on a radio station, and it's going to be louder than the stations where there's nothing there.
Right. And Amber's right, because you have to listen back. And of course, again, what we're looking for is answers to questions. You know, I mean, sometimes something random will come through and it stands out, but it should stand out because of the nature of it. Like when I was doing the ghost box session the other day at the cemetery, and I'm not even sure I put this in the video, but at one point there was a voice that said something, and I know it wasn't on the radio. It wasn't from the radio because I heard it. I heard it in my ear, and I think I heard it on the video, but if it wasn't that clear, I didn't put it in. But there was something that didn't come. And I've had that before where I'm doing a ghost box session. It happened in my own mother's apartment. And I believe it was her late husband who died 34 years ago. And I was doing the ghost box session and I was having a good time. And I was just like, I'm going to do a St. Patrick's Day ghost box session. Hadn't heard from him since he passed, and hadn't tried to hear from him. And I asked a question, and an answer came through on the radio, and you can see my face in the video because I was stunned because I recognized the voice. And I said, is that you? And in this ear from the room came, yeah. And it wasn't from the radio. And if you watch the video, you can see my demeanor completely change because it really affected me. I didn't tell my mother for 2 years that happened because I didn't want to upset her. But it's just the nature of it. It has to be the nature of the message is that it's a direct response, or you can tell that it's actually something. And if there's any question or that you think it's a bleed through, it probably is, So.
And that's a lot of people, like I said, they want to listen to them and they want to go, oh, that I caught something. But like I said, one of the tricks that I did is I have a Faraday bag I could drop my radio in.
Right.
And that basically eliminates any radio stations contaminating. If you get something with a Faraday bag, you caught something.
A Faraday bag will block out all the transmission. It'll block everything.
Right. So if you're getting anything from in a Faraday bag, and that's where I got that one where it said hello. And I'm like, okay, now that's crazy. It's in a Faraday bag. It should not be getting any voices coming through from radio. So if you get something when it's in a Faraday bag, you're getting something legit.
Right.
That's something close enough that's able to manipulate it. And it's not being transferred over long radio waves. That's actually something that's paranormal.
Yeah, I need to get one of those too.
And Joe G is asking, do any of you have sound recording software on a computer so you can upload your recordings and filter and view audio files, i.e. the messages? I do not. I downloaded one time, Audacity or something. I cannot figure it out. I can't. The most I can do is in my video editor, I can turn the volume up, turn the volume down. I've tried a couple of low pass or band pass filters just so you could hear it better.
So do you know what the low band and high band pass is? Do you know what it is?
Well, the low pass will let the low stuff through, and the high it'll block. It either blocks or lets it through.
Right.
I know.
Yes. So when you have the low band selected, it cuts all the lower frequencies. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want to cut. You want to try to go as natural as possible. Well, when you're recording, anyways. I do have professional recording software because I'm a musician. So yeah, I do put those EVPs through that software and listen through. The trick is mids, but you don't want to have too much mid. A lot of the frequencies involving EVP are in the lower half. You can find some in the upper part of the frequency, but most of them are in the lower end.
Right.
So
they're from the middle to the very far left side of an equalizer. Right. So if you're looking at an equalizer, say you got a 12-band equalizer, like he's talking about, most of the stuff on the left is going to be your highs, the high tinny sounds. From the middle, about one over from the middle
to the right are the highs.
To the right are your
to the right. Yeah, to the right is the highs. To the
left is your lows, and then in the middle is your mids, which most people, human voice, is in the mid range.
Okay.
So you want to go from the mid to almost the end of the low range.
Well, Joe G is asking about isolating messages, and that's like I said, I don't have the ability to do any of this fancy audio stuff. I do the turning it up, turning it down. That's about all I can do.
I'm curious about this. Do you guys, when you do your reviews, do you ever play it backwards? Like backmask to listen to it?
I would like to, but I have never tried it.
Sometimes I will, but usually I end up like everything. Like if I do get an AVP, it comes through, normally.
Well, if you want to hear something pretty interesting, Callaway nursing home video that I've got on my channel, you clearly hear, and I hear that it's not yours to take. When you listen to it backwards, it says something that still pertains to not being yours to take, even backwards.
And what video is that?
That's at Callaway nursing home. It's in I shared my paranormal.
I will have to check it out.
Yeah, it's in the Callaway nursing home.
Very
and it's
cool.
in the basement. And one of the guys is talking about taking a book from there. And you clearly hear something come through. Me and one of the guys is talking, and you hear the voice come through. That's not yours to take.
That's
cool.
I
was like, when I replayed it, I was like, wait a minute. Well, then somebody else heard something different. But the funny part is when I listened to what they said and then listened to it back, I could hear what they said they heard. So it's one of those where we don't have a definitive of what was said, but we've got a couple pretty close phrases that would fit that. But when I flipped it over and played it backwards, there's also a reply there. And it's the same tone of voice.
Interesting.
And I'm sure when you play stuff backwards, it never sounds like what it sounds like when you play it forward. Because different sounds, just like playing another one bites it up, it's backwards. You hear it's fun to smoke marijuana.
I've never done that.
Oh yeah, it does. It's fun to smoke marijuana.
Oh my God, I have never heard that. That's so funny.
But
and that's a point too, that I have a friend of mine who uses stuff, and he when he's doing his sessions, it's all in reverse. The problem with that is it doesn't even matter the language. Almost every word backwards will sound like another word.
Some,
and now that's some. I mean, there's thousands of words that can, in many different languages, that will sound like another word. So when something comes through, it's like, well, was that actually a spirit coming through, or was that just another word?
Right,
because it's reversed,
Well, this is interesting because
I isolated the phrase where we heard it's not yours to take. I isolated that and flipped that over, so it wasn't like it was catching me talking backwards or him talking backwards.
Cool.
It was just that isolated short spot,
right?
And it was just crazy that I was able to hear something and it still pertained to him not taking something.
Well, this is interesting because another one of these things about like why why we think it's ghosts and it's not really is this something somebody wrote an article they called the fear frequency. So I think this is along the lines of what we're talking about. It says humans can't hear sounds below 20 hertz. But some people subconsciously respond to lower frequencies with feelings of fear or dread, and they call them infrasounds.
Yes, infrasound. Yes.
So this one, in one account, and I'm going to just read this directly. In one account from 1998, an engineer of Coventry University spent a night in a lab believed to be haunted. He and his colleagues experienced anxiety and distress, felt cold shivers down their spines, and reported seeing a dark blob out of the corner of his eye. It turned out that there was a silent fan creating sound waves at around 19 hertz, the exact frequency that can cause the human eyeball to vibrate and see optical illusions. When they finally switched it off, it was as if a huge weight was lifted.
Yes.
You had me at dark blob.
So, when people hear something, when people hear like a lion, they say when a lion roars, a lot of people or other animals, they will paralyze in fear. Well, and it's something to do with the frequency of that lion.
It's nothing to do with the fangs and the claws.
Not seeing it.
The apex predator.
Well, I should have been clear on that. If you don't see it and it
okay. You don't see it and just hear the roar.
So that infrasound is something that I've experimented with. Matt has experimented. A lot of people have experimented with.
Wow.
It has zero effect on me.
Really? Okay. So what they're saying, so you're not sensitive to those low sounds?
No.
I hear frequencies. I hear dog whistles, and those frequencies.
I hear dog whistles through devices.
Yeah, and the I don't know about the States, but in Canada at like Walmart stores, they have these price check things on the wall.
Yes.
And they emit such a high frequency that only me and my other son, my eldest son, can hear them.
Yeah.
So I can't go around those corners because it's like
the security systems in a lot of stores. My issue is when I go into a certain home improvement store, because I can hear it, my hands end up itching. Like I have to get in and get out, or I have to go in the bathroom and put my hands under cold water. Yeah. And I always say to I do this to my husband constantly. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? And he's like, no, I went to too many AC/DC concerts. Right. I don't hear it.
So
yeah, my other son and I are the only ones in my family who can hear it.
So yeah, when I was younger, I could hear dog whistles. Now I can't. Now, however, there was somebody I was on the phone with, an ex, and she used a dog whistle, but she was on the phone with me. I'm like, oh my God, what is that sound?
Wow.
And she's like, what sound? She did it again. I'm like, that sound. She's like, there's no way you can hear that. And I'm like,
people can.
I'm like, well, if I can't hear that, then why did I react to it?
That's right. Hello, John. How are you? Good to see you.
It was a dog whistle. And that's the other thing. And we'll have to go back to digital recorders, is that digital recorders, they're not always accurate. And there are frequencies that we cannot hear or should not hear that they will record. And then upon playback, we were like, oh, well, I didn't hear that before. That must be paranormal, when it really wasn't paranormal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I even tried to explain, when you do something like that and you're on the phone with somebody, you're using another electronic device, it's not going to go, it's not always going to go in the frequency range that it should. That
really?
A higher frequency range so you can hear it.
Ugh, that must have hurt, though.
It did. Oh, it was painful. It made my teeth hurt, my jaw hurt. And she purposely continued to do it.
Oh, I think I would have hung up the phone.
reminds me of that scene in the movie
did.
Wolf with Jack Nicholson when Michelle Pfeiffer's drying her hair, and he's like, "What are you doing? It's driving me nuts." She's like, "I'm towel drying my hair." He's like, "Stop it! It hurts."
The sound.
When he's been
I don't know the movie, but I
Wolf?
can imagine the sound.
Wolf.
No, I don't know
Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. You're welcome.
it. Amber says, I do find that when I slow down words from the necrophonic, that there's sometimes a lower, darker voices and words beyond what I can hear at regular speed, like 2 in 1.
I'll tell you guys a secret. Little spoiler alert. There's a whole lot of words in the necrophonic and others.
That was in my list too of things to bring up.
Don't take them serious. They're in there.
You get used to what the fillers are, and then when you hear the whispers, pay attention to those.
Yeah. Well,
my God,
that's what I was going to say is when he was talking about it, and I said, there's a lot that can be done with code to make it entertainment. And I actually bought one of those EVP apps when I first started doing it.
Okay.
And it was on the iPhone. And I actually played it enough that I started hearing the same things over and over. So they have certain things that during certain times it will actually be released for you to hear. So therefore, what's time release by their entertainment programming?
I'll be back.
What's real?
Okay.
The other thing with apps as well, and now we're back to apps.
Right.
There were apps. I don't know if they're still around. I'm not going to name them. I don't want to give any publicity towards them, but there were certain apps where they would use your GPS, and they knew through GPS, hey, this is where this person's at, so they must be at this location. Well, these are the words that we have to use.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
So when
that's
people are like,
what I'm talking about.
That's terrible.
So when people are at at a location, like, oh my God,
at a cemetery.
It's location specific.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at is actually when I was listening, it kept saying grave. And I was in a cemetery.
Wow.
And I was talking to a guy, and he told me that
awful.
if you go into the coding of that, grave is actually in a word. And he said something about geotagging, and that's probably what you're talking about then.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, the only app that I would say to use, and I don't know a specific one, but I'm saying an app that has only just bits and pieces of sounds and bits and pieces. That's the only type of app, but I don't know which ones. Ray and I did a video, a live stream a while back where we compared 10 different apps. But I don't know which one. The one that I liked the best was just one that ran through internet radio stations. So basically it was like running a radio, So.
Also, with I see people doing this on their live streams where they bring up a desktop software, laptop software, whatever, and they're like, oh, it's like the Ovilus. One of them is called Alice, and this was again, I'm not going to be name dropping, but
it's a little box.
There's two individuals who swore by it, saying, oh, us and only 3 other people in the world have this. They don't understand how it works. Like, was there a word bank? No, it's all phonetics. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it was available to everyone, so they lied about that. And I downloaded a 30-day trial. I'm not paying $60 for this thing. And I took it apart. I went into yes, it absolutely had a library, a word library, and I deleted every single word in that library, and I put in my own. And what I put in there myself was coming up.
This was an app?
This is not. It was a desktop software that you can get.
Okay.
Same thing with some of these apps. The Ovilus. Yep. I actually went. I took out every word. So the EV. All right. So the words that come up when it talks, those are MP3 files. Okay. I believe number 9 is demon. But within that, every track is named. Every MP3 is named. So, like number 9, demon. So when demon pops up, yes, it's going to say the name of that MP3 file. That's what it's doing. I went through and I deleted all of that stuff again, put in my own stuff, and lo and behold, what I put in there was coming up. And I used this at haunted locations and stuff like that. I ended up reverting it back to the way I got it.
Okay.
And I gave it to Daryl to auction off to help like save Post Town. And this is funny, he got a hold of me and he said, Joe, I want to thank you for donating that. It was the second highest bid that we got. But he said the lady who won it kind of wanted to know, where did you, or she said, I don't know who this person is or where they investigated, but I think it was at a gentleman's club. And I'm like, oh no, because I typed in like boobies and like some other stupid things. And she looked at because it records what comes through and saves it for you. So she was going through that and she was seeing, and I'm like, oh my God.
Wait. Was this a like, are you talking about the little thing that's called Alice, the little black thing, the little box?
No. This is the Ovilus.
Oh, an Ovilus. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, an Ovilus.
She went through, because anything that comes through, any words that come through, it'll save in a list. So those words, I forgot to delete that. But it was funny. I know who won it, and I got a hold of her. She's like, I know what you were doing. I know exactly what you're doing. But she's like, I thought it was funny because once she found out who it was, she's like, I know what he did.
Years ago, I had a TomTom or something, the GPS.
Yes.
And I wanted to have a male voice. Okay. I did not want the female voice bitching at me when I was driving the wrong way.
You get mad when you don't listen.
I went on the internet.
Now you understand how us men feel when you try to give directions.
I went on the internet and I found a file, and I added the file, plugged it in and added the file to my TomTom, and I got this lovely Fey man, and he was wonderful and he was so kind. And then I kept saying to myself, if I can do that, I can put my own file on this. And I so desperately wanted to like record one and then give it to my husband and have it say, where the hell are you going? You went the wrong way. Turn left, not right. Oh my God, you're going too fast.
I wanted to do that with Robin Williams or Jim Carrey's one, but I don't drive, so what's the point?
TomToms were awesome. Mine had Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, I had Beavis and Butthead, yeah.
He was like, hey,
oh my God.
That's the exit. Turn around.
Polio, right.
Chrysalis is asking, what is the paranormal puck? Does anybody know what that is?
It's like the Ovilus, except you can type in your own answers.
Oh, okay.
In return, it should give
questions.
In return, it should type back.
Oh, okay.
I am interested in that. I just don't like the price of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never heard of it. None are guaranteed to be accurate. None are scientifically proven. None of what we do is scientifically proven. Right?
Anybody in the paranormal who says, "Hey, we do this in a scientific way or manner," it's bullshit. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I am not a scientist. Yeah, sure. The things that we use is scientific equipment. We're not scientists, and anyone. Any schmuck can get what we have.
Any schmuck.
I go in and try to basically debunk every kind of report there is. And then anything I can't debunk, then that's where I investigate. Like Brandon's uncle's house. We went there. Supposedly swinging punching bag and moving things and lights shaking and that, and I was able to debunk like 95% of it.
Right.
What I couldn't debunk is the dogs howling and acting all crazy when we saged the house. That I can't debunk. That's something scientifically there's no way to disprove. But it's kind of odd that we're saging the inside of the house, and all of a sudden the 3 hunting dogs outside that don't make noise unless there's a deer in the yard are howling like crazy wolves.
Right.
And we went out and investigated. There was nothing out there. And the moment we went back in the house and started saging in the room right next to their crates, they went nuts again. So that was the only thing we were able to actually walk out of there with, which, how do you prove that?
Well, it is scientifically proven that animals can see and hear spectrums and things that humans cannot. So when the animals are acting up, pay attention to the animals.
Oh, definitely.
And the super sensitive people around you that are going, my spidey senses are tickling. Bigfoot's over in the corner of your garage.
I gotta jump off.
All right, Joe. Enjoy your dinner. We're not going to be on for too much longer. Thanks so much for coming up.
Yep, this is a great topic. You gotta have more topics like this.
Heck yeah.
I'll try. You have a great meal.
I need to do the same too. All right. Bye, guys.
Take care, Joe.
Yeah, Tangi, what I was saying is Loki, I've got a window in my kitchen that I clearly saw the reflection of a girl.
I agree, Amber.
And she walked across the window, the reflection, and as she walked across, she blocked something that was in my kitchen, meaning she was not outside the window, she was inside the window. And as she walked, she actually distorted something in my kitchen. So it couldn't be a reflection from outside. It was inside. He will sit on the couch and look at that window and he'll start growling and then he'll start whining, like crying and want to go out. I think he's seeing the same reflection that I saw because he'll be sitting there like just now. I was like, what are you growling at? He was staring in the kitchen and growling.
Aw, he's so cute.
Is it a female named Samantha? Because I just heard Samantha.
Elaine is my new member. I'm so happy. So happy to have Elaine as my new member.
Would be my daughter that passed. Her name was Cammie or Cameron. And it was Father's Day when the reflection showed up. It was Father's Day. And she would have been 10. She would have been 10 at that time.
Wow.
And my dad's an ordained minister, and rest in peace, Dad. He doesn't believe in afterlife stuff like I do. Okay. He believes you go back to the earth and then you go on to heaven. He doesn't believe that spirits can come back and visit.
Sure they can. Just
but he told me point blank. My dad told me point blank, and I about fell out of my chair. He goes, "That was your daughter coming back to see you. It's Father's Day." And it's like every now and then I'll catch the glimpse of something moving in the kitchen, or we'll hear an odd noise in there. So it's kind of funny that he's starting to react to the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Is that, you're saying this is a once in a while thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, what
I've only seen it one time.
Like constant something that Loki's always looking at?
Yeah, he's always looking in the kitchen. So evidently this is there's a divider wall between me and my kitchen. This wall separates us. You see the window.
Right.
So it's evidently there's something going on in there that he's seeing constantly.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, every night he's seeing something. But normally around 10:30 is when I'll start hearing odd noises in the kitchen. And that's normally when I'll be sitting here watch TV and I'll be like, "What you doing in there?" And then it gets quiet. You know, so I acknowledge the noise.
Could it be previous owners too?
I don't know, because there was a man that died in this house. His wood burner stuck closed.
His name wasn't Sam, was it?
No. I think it was Edward.
Wow.
Why is it always Edward? It's always Edward.
I know.
I've gotten Edward too.
At home in a house too that I lived in. Now he's one of my guides.
Yeah, Joe G. There are hacked radios. Not as many these days, but I buy radios and I hack them. In fact, I've got another one coming to me.
And they work awesome. Number 17.
Number 17.
Number 17.
Hello, Dad Perfect. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, goodness.
And if you take the batteries out of them, the batteries will last more than a year.
Oh, I know, Amber. Photos. I keep seeing them on Instagram, and they're like, "What do you see? What do you see here?" And I'm like, "I don't see anything. I'm sorry." Oh, and hacked means hacked. what we mean when we say hacked radio is basically, see these radios above me here? These are Radio Shack 20-125s. They're older radios, but they're digital radios, and they're the certain radios that you can open up, and there's what's called a mute wire in them. When you have a radio and you haven't altered it and you press the scan button, it will quietly scan until it catches a station strongly, and then it will start playing that station. And that's inside of it, it's made so that it will do that. If you cut the mute wire, or some of them bend the mute pin, then the radio will scan continuously without stopping, but you'll hear the white noise in between. And when we do these sessions, a lot of times I've gotten whispers in the white noise. So we want to have the white noise, and we want it to continually scan, because the theory is that spirits can use the voices and the energy in the radio transmission to communicate with us. So,
like Bumblebee does in Transformers.
Yes.
The radio.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's how I always thought. Yeah.
And I've gotten messages like that, long sentences made up of 8 or 9 words, just bip, bip, bip.
Commercials,
bip,
music, like
right.
Check out all you need is fiber in your diet. I'm like, I know, I'll have a fiber bar.
Fixed for EVP. So EVP is and a lot of times some people will differentiate EVP, like when you use just a digital recorder in a quiet room with no radio, and you just put it on and ask questions and then listen back. And then the EVPs, the electronic voice phenomena that we use the radios for, is it's important to record what you're doing and then listen back, because it's hard sometimes to pick it up. And also the energy from the transmission is sometimes used, and you'll get messages while the radio is running, but you can tell they're not from the radio, and it's just that energy that they're using. So and that's the theory that we all work under. So not proven. It's sort of like Schrodinger's cat. The cat is in the box with the toxic substance. The box is sealed, so he's in 2 states. The cat's dead, the cat's alive. We don't know until human interaction opens the box and we find out. So a little bit of quantum physics for you there. It's a good conversation starter for the next party you go to.
That's why I'm
also I have a list of stuff, if I may, that people forget, like when they're experiencing things. It's not always ghosts or spirits. It could be time travelers, astral travelers, your future self, your higher self, your interdimensional beings, aliens, residual energy, remote viewers, the Fae, EMFs, or magnet. Well, we used to live on a Magneto-One River with the magnetite. What do you call that? The magnetic fault line.
Oh wow!
Animals,
okay.
People, or something else. So so that's why when you're doing a ghost box or an investigation, be specific in your questioning and wording. Because I'll always say, like when I see my orbs in my team, I know that they're a certain color or shape, and then I'll see like a black line float by. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a certain energies come through. Right. And I'll say, who are you? What do you want? What's your name? Where are you going? What's going on? And a lot of the time, it's not a person, it's a vibration. So for example, the neighbors could slam their door next door. I'll feel it, but then I'll see a black line float through my room.
Okay.
I'm seeing the vibration of a sound. And if someone else saw that, they'd think, oh, there's a black line in your room. It's a devil. Right. No, because sound and light and everything's energy. So it can show up in different forms. It can show up in a light.
Right. And like you're sensitive to the lower hertz,
right?
The lower frequencies, you're sensitive to that as well.
The different spectrums and microwaves and particles. A lot of us, I can see particles when I look at the sky. I can see all the atoms and particles floating around.
Right.
And if you could see your aura, you could see energy fields if you just focus on it. So when you get familiar with that, am I seeing a sound? Am I seeing a ghost? Am I seeing a astral traveler? Is somebody falling asleep and dreaming and they've remote viewing me, you know, not to freak out, not to panic, ask the questions and do your research.
Right.
You know, it's
although
there's so much out there.
A lot of people who, if they are astral traveling, they can't really communicate with you.
They can with me. I can with them.
Can you?
Girl, let's meet in the cosmic bus stop. You fall asleep and we'll go on an adventure.
I know in the times in my life, the very few times when I have felt that I have done that involuntarily, I could not communicate.
Every time I felt that I did that I astral traveled, it's like I don't like roller coasters. I don't like flying. I don't like heights. And it was weird because I felt like I was just like soaring. I could literally feel the updraft on my arms.
Yeah,
like
I've done that.
I've absolutely done that. And flying.
Yeah.
And I feel that dip in the stomach when I swoop down.
Yes, I have done that.
It's just really unusual. And then I wake up, and the one thing I notice every time that happens, I wake up and my rate is high as hell.
Wow.
So
and do you feel like you all of a sudden land back in your bed?
I feel like I just when I wake up, it's almost I feel like somebody went to the bed and went and
you're coming back into your body.
Right.
Oh, it's it's not a great feeling.
Wife says, why do you shake the bed some nights like that? I'm like, I don't know. But then I have the memory of that feeling of that feeling of being like a bird and
I can still remember the feeling, and I haven't done it in years.
Yeah, and it's weird because every time that I have one of those experiences, I have deja vu within a couple months.
Oh God!
Where I see exactly something about to happen, and I know word for word what somebody's about to say.
Yeah,
I know what I'm supposed to say. I know what they say back, and it's so freaky when that happens.
I don't like deja vu at all. I
love it.
I
love it.
My daughter has full day. My daughter has the full day deja vu.
Yeah,
she'll dream an entire day, and then it will happen. Yeah.
Something else you were talking about was the frequency.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer that each person resonates on their own frequency. But when I had my near death, I saw what my energy looked like. It's almost like a cloud with multiple colors.
Wow.
So when I went past the window and I remember the peripheral of seeing it was almost like I was seeing almost like a mist cloud. Not like a cumulus cloud, but like a mist, like cloudy mist of zigzag and coloring in it. And the funny part is that when I went over and I had my experience, when I came back, I almost feel like my frequency changed when I came back.
Oh,
and maybe that's why I've got so many encounters, why I've seen so many apparitions. Maybe that's why I've
heard of that before, though. People that have had NDEs, I have definitely heard that.
And that's what
something changes.
Only way I could explain it and scientifically look at it is that when I came back, my frequency changed. Now, did my frequency change from what I was living to what I was when I passed over? And now I come back with that passed over frequency? So now I no longer have that frequency I had before the accident. Is that why it seems like I have so many contacts, I guess I could say?
Or have you just expanded your frequency? Expanded.
Well, I almost feel this is the way I feel, and I've said it for years. I almost feel like I came back with the frequency of there.
Okay.
So people that are just passing over are going, well, why is he able to be back here? So they're hanging around trying to figure out what made, I don't want to say special because I never see myself as special. But
I hear Loki.
Oh, you're special, all right.
I hear Loki whining.
Yeah, mom's home, so he's whining. He saw her pull in.
He's so cute.
So it's almost like they're able to recognize by that frequency that I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
So they're wanting to find out how they can hang out here like I am.
Well, when you
that's
were younger, you didn't experience all of this?
It was when I was 18 when I had that experience.
Okay, so when I was in my 20s and I was going through exactly what you're talking about, and how it was explained to me was that I was a conduit.
Right,
And
and that's what
you,
I
you've
feel.
got a foot in both worlds. You've got a
Right.
foot in both dimensions, and
That's the way I feel.
the ones that are confused that are trying to come back through are trying to come back through you.
That's
Okay.
I felt that it was either they were trying to come back through or trying to find out what made it to where I'm here
Right.
and not there. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
Right.
wait a minute, if he could be here, how come I can't be here? Maybe I need to see what he does so that I know that maybe I can do something to be there too. You know, so it's really, for me, that's kind of the way I look at it. I look at it as my frequency is different, and maybe that's why I see things that most people don't.
Yeah.
And the funny part, Tangi, you were talking about with the colors, that was the one thing, that was what got me off on this. I've got several orbs that are like purple on one side and blue on the other, and a slight red hint towards the center. That was the colors that I saw on the window as I passed by when I see myself in a mist form.
Wow.
So my question is, when I see those orbs in the pictures, is that me?
Yeah, it could be your higher
Projecting
self
out?
or future self. There's a difference.
That's what I was going to get to. Or could that be the other dimension self?
Wow.
Your higher self would be another dimension. Your future self would be Tommy in, the future.
Right.
So your other dimension self could look like energy, could look like somebody else, could be colors, it could be a tree, like whatever your other dimensional form is. And so that's why I always tell people, you never jump to a conclusion that it's a ghost or a spirit, because it could be you, because you are always going to have your best interest at heart, and you know yourself better than anyone else. So why wouldn't the future you and past you protect you?
That's right. That's right.
And I've had future me. Oh, thank you, future me. She knows. I got another question. Always comes around and she's like, "Girl."
I got a question. I got a question that's going to tweak your mind, since you also believe in interdimensional travel, as you were talking about.
It's how I go shopping, Tommy. Come on. I don't have a car. We know this.
What if the only reason we can't walk through a mirror into another dimension is because our reflection, is blocking us from going through?
Right. Yeah. Right. That and gravity.
Hey, anything is possible.
Well, they say
open our minds.
Anything is possible. Absolutely. Because
they say that you're too, like, your other dimension, you can't occupy the same space as you. So what if that mirror is the separation between us?
Maybe.
What if we can turn sideways and both go through?
So it's you in that other dimension doing in the exact same place that you are at that moment. And then when you walk away from the mirror, where are they going?
If you watch Adventure Time,
where are they going?
BMO has his mirror self he talks to, football.
Right.
It's just that'll answer your question. That's exactly how I think it is.
My friend asked that the other night, and it got me thinking. I'm like, that is interesting when you think about it.
It is.
Why can't you pass through the mirror? Maybe it's because you're blocking yourself from passing through.
Yeah.
And then we got to talking about it, and that's when I said, they say that, like, just like the old fashioned or Back to the Future, you can't touch your other self, and you can't,
We're humans, that's very metaphorical. We block ourselves in so many ways on a daily basis.
Oh, you humans, you will learn. You'll get there.
That's right. Amber says we can do way more than we realize. Meditation is key and extremely powerful. We human beings no longer spend any time with ourselves.
I only spend time.
The world is noisy. We don't stop. We get scared when it stops. It's why so many people have freaked out with what's gone on the past 2 years on the isolation. My husband said I could live on a little island by myself, and he's right, but a lot of people do not like the isolation. It's very, very difficult for the human creature. So yeah,
see, I've been practicing for many, many years because I don't leave the house a lot during the winter months. And when COVID hit, I was like, it's just another day.
It's just winter. It's just winter for 2 years.
Just another day. Of course, my wife was like ready to choke me, I think, towards the end of
But, my son and I have been living like, we were living pre-pandemic as if it was post-pandemic.
Take care, Elaine. Thanks for joining my channel. We'll see you later, honey. We're going to get off here soon anyway. We've been on here a long time, I know.
It's time for me to go eat dinner too, so.
Yeah, so
Did you finish your list, Cynthia? Was that everything on your list?
The last things that I had, hypoxia is an easy one. Lack of oxygen is going to make you hallucinate lots of things. But we have sleep paralysis. Okay. So it says your body is normally paralyzed during REM sleep, but this can cause terror if it happens while awake. So what they're saying is sometimes
you wake and you're still paralyzed.
Right. Because
your body's trying to get back in your body.
You wake, but you're still in it, but it's like being asleep with your eyes open, basically.
When you go to sleep, your brain releases the chemical that paralyzes the body.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wake up before that chemical has been neutralized,
right,
when you come out of REM sleep, the brain starts to neutralize that paralytic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, I watch my sleep every day to see what I'm like. And I see that there's only like 3 or 4 hours a night spread out where I'm in deep REM sleep. The rest of the time it's light sleep. So when I come out of that REM sleep, if my brain doesn't neutralize that paralytic and I wake up,
right,
my body feels like somebody's holding me down. And that's why we get a lot of people saying, a demon wouldn't let me up. No.
Right, exactly.
Or you're astral traveled and your spirit's trying to get back into your body.
And that too.
And George is asking if we know what an apport is. I do. I know what an apport is.
Apport.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, but I don't remember what I did.
Something is there and it's somehow moved to another place and appears.
Apparating.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of a sudden you'll find a key or something that was never in your house before is on the floor in front of you.
This house is clean.
My wife does that quite often. She's like, I don't know where it is. Where'd you put it? And then she finds where she put it.
Wow.
So it must have worked there.
I love this. Joe G. Remember, we are ghosts driving a meat-coated skeleton made from stardust, riding a rock, hurtling. Now, what is that from? I've heard people saying that.
Oh, it's been going around. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
From that movie?
Yeah, spirit in a skin suit.
You guys missed that view. I just got the FU view as she walked through looking at me.
No. Sleep paralysis, what docs call it because they don't understand the spiritual side of it. I've never spoke to anyone who's experienced it and didn't have a paranormal experience. Yeah.
I've never had the paralysis because I'm so
I
can do it while I'm talking to you. I can astral travel out. I've been doing it for so long. So my mom taught me when I was young. I wish parents would do that with their kids. They teach you how to eat, brush your teeth, and safely astral travel. Okay, parents, get on this.
But the thing is, for people who believe in astral travel, when you're in the astral traveling state, you are vulnerable. So it's definitely something you want. You need to be careful.
It's just like if you go to the store by yourself, be aware of your surroundings and protect yourself appropriately.
Right.
And always expect the prepare for everything. Expect the unexpected.
Protect everything and protect yourself while you're out, so that nobody else jumps in and drives the car.
Right. Exactly. Right.
It's like, honey, you're not yourself today. No, I'm not.
Well, what if that does happen? And that's why some friends that we have change. and we say,
Yes.
you're not like you used to
There's
be.
walk-ins.
What if that's the case?
There are walk-ins. There's different kinds. There's also people who are so depressed that they can't handle, so their spirit leaves and a good energy comes in. Like there's that famous case of the Jewel. She said, my name's not Karen or whatever. My name is Jewel. That was documented. And she was like a better mother to the kids and a great wife to the husband. And they said, we know this is not Karen. This is Jewel.
So what if when they jump in, your consciousness is still there and they're able to use your consciousness?
It depends. There's different kinds of cases, right? Some leave instead of dying. The body is still needed. The family still needs this person, so that that person leaves and a new one is downloaded, comes in, a walk-in to the body.
Even though when you astral travel, you still are who you are.
Yep.
But what if all your memories stayed in the vessel?
You mean?
You see what I'm saying? Like all your memories and everything.
My hamster, my wheel, my brain just exploded.
Tangi Indigo Chrysalis Tarot wants you to teach them how to.
Sure, I can only share what I've experienced and what I know. But yeah, sure.
Yay! I blew Tangi's mind tonight. Mind melt.
Let's get rid of this one.
I smell burnt toast, and I won't feel my left eyebrow for 3 days. Thanks, Tommy.
Hey, Peak of Otter. I'm trying to get rid of this bot here. Oh, there we go. All right, Tangi. Good job. Hello, Peak of Otter. Good to see you. Yeah, follow Tangi. Indigo. Her. Put your channel link up, Tangi. It's Roman Biscotti. Boop. You'll gain a lot from it, and you will enjoy it. Yes, hitchhikers, Joe G. You got to watch out.
She's
for
always
hitchhikers.
A pleasure to talk to.
Always. My father loves her too because my father watches my streams and he loves Tangi.
I love you guys.
He loves Tangi. So, and the last thing I had, of course, was Paradolia, and that's a type of apophenia where as humans we pattern patterns. We make patterns out of things, and so we see things and hear things that aren't really there because we want to close the box. We want to close the circle. It's something that we do. I'm a member of Mensa, which is an IQ society. And when I took the Mensa proctored exam, a lot of the exam has to do with patterning and sequencing. And as humans, that is something we do. And, basically a test of IQ isn't, if Beyonce's middle name, a test of IQ is taking data and being able to analyze it and go from here to here to here with it. So that's something as humans that we do. And when you hear about pareidolia a lot in the paranormal community, it's like you see a cloud and I see a turkey, or I see an angel. We create things out of what we see. Look in a puddle. It's like a Rorschach test.
Mm-hmm. That's how I'm able to do my readings and channel messages through pareidolia, through symbolism, through seeing things that, it looks like Jello mold to you, but me, I'm seeing the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's painting in it.
But that's it, because those that would tell you, oh, it's just pareidolia, you're hearing and seeing things because you're putting them together yourself. When you're doing a reading, when you're a psychic, when you're doing cards, when you're doing something where you're trying to see something and gather information about somebody, you are using that basically. You are you are forming, like taking all the signals that are coming into you and putting them together to form the thought. So honestly, I don't think that it's the worst thing, pareidolia. You know what I mean?
I don't do that. I don't do that.
It works for people who use symbology. It's very important.
Right.
Yeah. Bathroom tiles give me messages every day. Every day I see something different in the bathroom tile.
And that's to see, and Amber's, and this, all those ghost photos you see on Instagram. Our brains are designed to make a face out of anything. We are all like the Xbox 360 camera, the Kinect camera.
The Kinect, right?
We do the same thing with our own brains. We see something and we make it into something. It's what we do. And we generally make it into something. We're humans. We make it into something human. We make it into something we can relate to. You know,
when somebody sees that dark shadow in the corner and it automatically starts taking shape of something.
Of generally what?
Their mind's
a
tricking
person.
them into that shape looks like a person.
Or a dog,
like
something we're familiar with. Yeah.
That looks
That's
like the vampire from Salem's Lot. So now you're hiding under the covers because the vampire that popped out of the sea in Salem's Lot's in the corner.
Chick, thanks for stopping
oh, wait,
by.
Sorry. That was me when I was young. Sorry.
That's why I say lose the fear. You'll be surprised what you see. I can speak for me.
Cool,
that's how I do what I do because I lose that fear. I'm like,
and that's how you do it. That's very cool, George. Oh, take care, Brooklyn Chick.
See, I don't know. With me,
yes, we're wired to see faces. We are, because we have faces. And so we're wired to see we see faces, and we see
that's
what
why
we're
we see Jesus in our toast and tortillas.
He was a person. He was a face. He had a face.
Bathroom tile.
Right.
I do.
Amber says, when I channel, I literally see the person and their clothes, sometimes their house, chairs, grandkids, etc.
Same.
See,
that's why I got a tile in the bathroom on the floor, the wood grain. It looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah. It happens to me all the time. I'll look at the floor and I'll say, oh, wait, look at that. And I always think, I'm going to take a picture of that and put that on Instagram and say, can you see the cat? Because I see a cat.
Yep.
I'm like, nobody wants to see that.
But you know what the funny part is, too, is if you look at the same people, like you said yourself, you look at the patterns and stuff.
Right.
But if you look, how does that transfer over to our daily life? When I watch people, I watch their behaviors and I watch their patterns of how they operate. And to me, it transfers over to the protection side of, protecting yourself from certain people too. So it's not only in a spiritual way, it's also in a physical way. Because like when I look at certain people and I see the patterns that their behaviors, we've talked about certain people, how they act all the time. And, and then you see something that's out of the normal for them. And you're like, that just don't seem right for them. It seems like there's something wrong here.
Right.
And I think that's even those patterns and things like that, I put into real life action.
You're seeing it for a reason. If you prove it, if those who believe in magic will see it, right? Those who believe in aliens.
Those are eerie pictures.
They're not eerie. They're my alien buddies. But
well, I don't have any alien buddies, so to me they're freaky. And that's right.
But I'm freaky to a lot of people till they get to know me, Cynthia.
And matrixing is the word that Amber used, and matrixing is a good word, and it's part of what we do when we see something, and we are going to form it. We're going to try to. Well, I think it's also a protective mechanism in our minds because we want to say to ourselves, "Oh, okay, that's something I can quantify, and I know whether it's safe." Or I have to run away from it and it's not. So I think that that's part of the matrixing and the pareidolia is that it's like, oh, okay, that's a fluffy puppy. That's not a venomous snake. I'm not afraid of it. We're basically making this, whatever we're seeing, into something that's safe. So a lot of people, when they do this paranormal stuff, I think they scare themselves because they make it into something and then they scare themselves because of what they're making it into.
That's why I don't go by what I see. I go by what I feel. Go by what you feel. If you closed your eyes and couldn't see it, what would you feel?
Yeah. And that's how we do card readings. We do card readings because we're just reading the vibrations and the feelings. So it's interesting stuff. Like I said, the book I'm writing, the very last chapter is going to be about why people think that what I do is not all ghosts. It's just interesting. You want to look at all the different sides of it.
I'm excited for when your book comes out, whenever that is.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll finish it this year. And then Ray will help me. I got to get somebody to edit it, and then Ray will figure out he'll tell me how to get it printed up. But this has been a lot of fun, you guys. We have been on for 2 hours.
Yep.
Tangi, thank you so much. And Tommy for joining me.
Thanks, Tommy.
Joe, I hope you're enjoying your feast wherever you went. And Ray, I hope you're feeling better.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Yes, and Amber is very knowledgeable, so very interesting stuff if you guys want to check out her channel too. But thank you, everyone, for being here. And anybody who watches to this point down the road, thank you so much for being here. Hugs to everybody. It has been a wonderful night and a great topic. And a lot of those stuff you mentioned before, Tange, might be good future topics. So thank you for that. Anyway, everybody have a wonderful, safe, blessed night. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.